Well, hello out there. I'm T.M. Brown, and welcome to the next reading from my very first book, A Life Not My Own. I'm so excited to be on this journey with you. My intent is to share more with you than you'd experience if you read the story on your own. And you may decide that you want to read along with me. You can pick up a copy of my book, A Life Not My Own, via my website, www.authortmbrown.com. The hurricane is scheduled to arrive sometime tomorrow. And before we get started, I just want to send love and encouragement to my neighbors in Florida. Today's show, like many of the other shows, is for me as much as it is for you. And today, especially today, it's about focusing on something else just for a little while, something other than the storm. So we started at the very first page, and we will work our way through the entire book. Today's reading starts on page 58. Are you ready? No, you don't. You have her. You can talk to her. I wanted to hang up again, but I couldn't. I missed him so much. I loved him too much. What was he thinking? What was he doing? Were they living together again? I didn't know. I needed to know. Tina. Look, I have to go, I said, returning the receiver to the telephone. What was I going to do now? Inside, I was hurting so badly. There were 2 more weeks left in the semester. I made up my mind that I would concentrate on my finals instead of worrying about what had gone wrong between him and me. I was really looking forward to finishing the semester. It had been difficult trying to maintain a GPA and my relationship with him at the same time. Catching 3 buses across town to the university every day was becoming more and more of a hassle. Returning from classes one afternoon, I turned the key to Ma's house. I prayed that no one would be home so that I could have a few moments of silence. Recently, I had been spending most of my time in my room, just trying to get my head together. I hadn't said anything to Ma about what was going on with him and me. Ma and I had never really talked about any of my relationships before, and I was too embarrassed and too hurt to talk to her about this one. Great. There was no one home. I could take a bath and watch TV downstairs without having to talk to anyone. I placed my purse on the kitchen table and headed upstairs. Just then the telephone rang. Hey. Hello. I saw you get off the bus a few minutes ago, and I was wondering if I could come over. Why? How long are you going to be this way with me, Tina? You haven't even given me a chance to explain. To me, there doesn't seem to be anything that you need to explain. Don't tell me what I need and what I don't need. Obviously, you don't have a clue about what I need, because if you did, you'd give me a chance to explain. Okay. What? Okay, I said. I'll be there in a few minutes. He knocked on the door looking as handsome as he had the first day he had come to ask me out. Hi, he said softly as he kissed me on my cheek. Hey. So, how have you been? You look good, he said cordially. I've been okay, but I'm sure you're not here to ask me how I've been. Damn, you're still really mad at me, aren't you? What do you expect? I was hoping that you would understand. Understand what? That I still love you? Answer me this. Are you guys living together? Yes, but look, there's no but to that answer, I interrupted. What are you doing here? You can't be doing this. It's not fair to her or to me. You need to make a choice and live with it. To me, it seems like you made the choice when you went back to her. See, that's where you're wrong. She and I have a long history together. I've been with her on and off since she was a teenager, some 15 years or more. My sister died and she was right there, financially and emotionally. My family always wanted us to try to work things out for our son. That's what I'm trying to do. So why are you here? Why are you here? You know why I'm here, Tina. I love you, that's why. Seems to me that's real easy for you to say. Oh, you think so, huh? Well, it seems to me that it's pretty easy for you to forget everything that we've shared. Don't you even try to turn this around. I just need to know, do you really want it to be over? He said, ignoring my last statement. I'm not going to keep running after you if you really don't want me to. I know I don't have any business being here, but I love you, Tina. I can't do anything about that. How can that be? You're sleeping with someone else every night. How can you love me and do that? He didn't answer. I thought that we had something special, and you just threw it away as if it were nothing. I trusted you, told you things, gave you my body and all the love that I knew how to give, and you just threw it away like it was nothing, like I was nothing. How could you do that? I screamed with tears running down my face. He lowered his head in shame. I'm sorry. Being sorry doesn't make me feel any better. Being without you doesn't make me feel any better. What do you want? I miss you so much, he said, ignoring my question again. I just had to be near you. I want to hold you. I don't know what I'm doing, he said as he pulled me close to him. I miss you so much, Tina. Please, just don't turn away from me. I need you, baby. I was more confused than ever. I didn't know what to say now. His touch, his smell, the way he looked at me brought tears to my eyes. I couldn't turn away. I knew that I should have, but I couldn't. So what are we supposed to do now? Sneak around? No, I'm not going to ask you to do that. I just want to know if you will wait for me. Will you give me more time to figure out what I'm doing? I just need some time. And what am I supposed to do while you're figuring out what you need to do? I can't ask you not to see anyone, but I hope that you will wait for just a little while. I know I have no right to ask, but please, Tina, don't give up on me. He began calling me every day and visiting me whenever possible. We secretly continued our love affair. Somehow, in the midst of all the stress of trying to hold on to him, I was able to complete my undergraduate studies. This amazes me because there were days when he would intercept me on my way to college. I'd go to the movies, a friend's house, or anywhere else he wanted me, just to be with him. I was very unhappy with the relationship, but my love for him was far too deep to walk away. I didn't want to share his affections with anyone. He said that he loved me but couldn't leave his son. I had to believe him. I did not want to accept that I was the other woman. I was young, in love, and trapped in a relationship where I could see no way out. After college, I accepted a live-in counseling position, working with mentally retarded adults on the opposite side of the city. I was hoping that since I didn't have enough strength to stay away from him on my own, the distance would take care of that for me. I was wrong. He would visit me almost every day, leaving a few of his belongings each day until eventually we were living together. The dwelling that I managed for the clients was located behind a mall. We spent most of our time there, shopping, dining, and going to the movies. Life, for the most part, was pretty good. I was beginning to think that maybe we could work things out when I learned of another problem in our relationship: drugs. He had a major drug problem. How could this be possible? How could I allow myself to be in love with an addict after living with Betty? Where were all the telltale signs? I told myself that with him it was totally different. He wasn't afraid to express his love for me and seemed genuinely to care for me. On one of our shopping sprees, we decided to go to an antique auction. Within a few months, we had acquired enough furniture to open a small antique store in South Baltimore. It was our dream to have our own business. He didn't like the profession that I had chosen. My clients were violent at times. He wanted me to quit my job and work full-time in the shop. Resigning from my position was not an issue because I did not want to live at home again but I didn't want to live at home again while we searched for an apartment. For one thing, Ma would not allow us to live as a couple under her roof, especially since we were not married. After much discussion, we agreed that I would quit my position and we would live with his family until we found an apartment. Once again, I was living in a fake world. I was in love with a drug addict. We hid his addiction with overindulgence. We were considered to be a happy couple by most of our friends, but we had big problems. "Did you pay the rent for the shop today?" I said. "It's not late for another week. Do you want to go shopping or something? Don't forget, I've got to take my son school shopping on Saturday. He and his mom will be stopping by the store on Saturday morning," he said. "I don't see why they need to come by here. Can't you meet them somewhere else? You know how she is. She'll walk her ass right up in here and won't even speak. If it hurts her so badly to speak, maybe she shouldn't come in. You know she still wants you, don't you?" I said. "I have who I want. Don't pay her any attention," he smiled. But I had to pay attention to her. She was my competition. She wanted a man that I loved. She had his child and I didn't. What could I do to hold on to him if she really played her cards right? Once again, I was feeling that I was way over my head. The only thing that I felt that I had, which was keeping us together, was his love for me. But to me, that wasn't enough. This was the craziest time in my life. I didn't know what to do. I was lost and there was no one that I felt I could talk to about my situation. I had chosen to stand by a man that I should have just walked away from. To leave the relationship would be doing what I thought everyone that I knew was waiting for. "See, I told you it wouldn't work." That's what I thought they would say. We created a very profitable antique business together. In my mind, our ability to do so confirmed my belief that we were made for one another, capable of doing anything as long as we stayed together. In addition to the business, he had a very good job with hours that were compatible with our lifestyle. He was on call with a guaranteed annual salary substantial enough to maintain our standard of living. He was very generous, loving, considerate, and very outgoing most of the time. But when he got high, he was impossible. His drug addiction was becoming the driving force in our relationship. Like Betty, he lost all sense of responsibility and rationale when he was high. Nothing but the drugs mattered when he wanted to get high. "Hey, Tina, let's do something tonight." "Like what?" I said. "I hope we can get through this weekend without you getting high," I thought. "Let's go out Fairfield. Can't we do something else? You know what happens while we're out there. You'll end up high. You don't need to get high to have fun to have a good time, do you? I pleaded. We'll just visit with Stelly, okay? He said, using his pet name for Ma. Okay, I said. Shit. We weren't at my grandmother's house more than 30 minutes before he was out the door. I'm going down to the bar to see what the guys are doing. I'll be back in a little while, he said. Eventually, he returned with the look on his face. I was furious. He was flying, talking loudly and laughing. He was embarrassing me, and I wanted to go home. A few weeks prior, we had relocated our antique shop to a 3-story storefront house on Charles Street, 2 blocks west of the famous Baltimore Inner Harbor, in order to have a place to stay and to continue the business. I loved our new home. We bought an antique gas stove for the kitchen, in addition to an Art Deco kitchen set which matched the stove perfectly. We lived on the 2nd floor of the house, which consisted of 4 rooms. There were two large rooms and a powder room and an adjoining bathroom. We used the large front room as our bedroom. We decorated the 12-foot ceiling room with period empire pieces, a massive mahogany and rosewood veneer sleigh bed, a sofa, and a huge chest of drawers with claw feet. There was a fireplace in the room, and we used the mantel to display our Nippon pieces. It seemed to me that we had so much to be thankful for. We enjoyed life to the fullest, dining out, attending socials, visiting family and friends, taking long walks in the evenings, dancing the night away at the local clubs, and dressing in the latest fashions. The sky was the limit, but the drugs were holding us back. Every time we make progress, he considered it an opportunity to get high. He had changed my whole life. Partially, I lived the life that I had always dreamed of. Financially, I wanted for little, but there was no stability. He wasn't trying to kick the habit. He really thought he had it under control by comparing himself to other addicts who were less effective than he was in maintaining the facade of normalcy for friends and family. We can't keep going like this. You've got to try to stop using drugs. I don't want you to die. I can't leave you, so you have to try. We need to get as far away from this life as we can, I said. Well, what about the business? I don't care about the business. Let's just keep the things that we really want and sell everything else. Get an apartment somewhere and try to live without drugs. Can you do that? Just give up everything for me like that, he said as we sat in the store one night. There is nothing and no one in this world that is more important to me than you. I don't give a damn about any of this if we can't be together. I will not let you end up like my mother. I'll sell my soul to the devil himself to keep you safe. Damn, girl, I really don't deserve you. No, right now you don't, but you will, I said. We found a 2-bedroom apartment on the 3rd floor of an old house on Reed Street in downtown Baltimore. It was a beautiful apartment with hardwood floors trimmed with mahogany inlay, gold-gilded floor-to-ceiling windows stretching the length of the apartment, decorative ceilings, and a huge bathroom. The furnishings that we decided to keep fit the apartment perfectly. We could walk to the market to buy fresh fruit and seafood, or to the theaters that were only a few blocks away. The newly renovated Baltimore Harbor was no more than 10 minutes away. We were in the new apartment for only 3 weeks before the first incident. Hey, you want to do something different tonight? Let's go out to Fairfield, he said. Oh no, I thought. We were going to try to stay. Oh no, I thought we were going to try to stay away from that place. It's too hard for you not to get high when we go out there, I said. Plus, I was hoping that we could go to the movies, I lied. Look, I'm going. You can go if you want to, he stated firmly. No, I'm staying home. Well, I'll see you later. He didn't even look back as he walked out the door. It was starting again. What was I going to do? I can't keep going on like this, I thought. As I lay across the bed watching TV and waiting for his return, I faintly heard him call my name. I thought I had fallen asleep, but his voice was still in my mind. I looked at the clock. It was 2:30 in the morning. Where was he? Then I heard his key turn in the front door. Then whispers. He wasn't alone. I pretended to be asleep, listening to the conversation that he was trying to conceal between him and the other man. I slipped out of the bed and peeked through the bedroom door. Who the hell was this man coming out of my bathroom? I was furious. I waited until he shut the front door behind the man and went into the living room to confront him as he was on his way to the bathroom. I saw the look on his face. He was high. I'll be back, he said. I leaped in front of him. No, aren't you high enough, I said, spreading my arms out in front of him and blocking the entrance to the bathroom. Where have you been all this time? I thought you were going to try to stop. You must think I'm really stupid. I am so tired of this shit, I said, still blocking the door. Get out of the way, woman, he said softly. Don't you know that you can't stop me from doing anything? Get out of my way. He pushed me away from the door. I fell against the curio cabinet located beside the bathroom door. The bottom panel of glass shattered. He quickly shut the door without even looking my way. After what seemed like hours, he slowly opened the door to find me sitting on the floor by the cabinet amidst the shattered glass, crying. Tina, what are you doing? You pushed me, you asshole, I said as I stood up and started hitting him in the chest. You pushed me! You pushed me! You pushed me! I screamed. I ran into the bedroom and closed the door, eventually crying myself to sleep. He didn't follow me. The next morning when I awoke, he was not there. There was a note on the pillow. Tina, I am sorry about last night. You know that I would never do anything to hurt you on purpose. Please don't leave me. I want to talk to you, and I'll be right back, always. I heard the front door open and decided to pretend to be asleep. He came into the bedroom with coffee and donuts from our favorite bakery. Tina, we need to talk, he said. Please, just leave me alone, I said without looking at him. I could not bear to look at him. The night before had been so crazy. I was so embarrassed. I knew that I shouldn't have tried to stop him. I felt that I was becoming as sick as he was. His addiction was making me sick. I wanted to hit him and try to make him hurt as much as I was hurting. I felt my control over my life slipping away from me, and he didn't seem to care about anything except the drugs. I loved him so much, but at the same time I hated the person that I was becoming. I blamed him and the drugs for everything. My inability to find a job, my insecurity about our relationship, my feelings of being trapped in a relationship that was no good for me, everything. I'm going away for a while. There's a place that I can go that will help me. Then we can be together without the drugs. I'm so sorry about last night. You know that I've never hit you or anything like that before. I don't want to ever do that again. I have to go and try to get better. Did I hurt you? I am so sorry. He lowered his head in shame. So what am I supposed to do? I can't stay here. Stay at your grandmother's until I come back. Well, it looks like you got it all figured out. You know I have to do this. You said it yourself. We can't keep going like this, like we've been for the last few months. Look at me, Tina. He pulled up his sleeves. There were tiny, round black spots all over the inside portion of his arms. I can't hide this anymore. He showed me his swollen hands. I'm sick. This shit calls me in the middle of the night. I can't even sleep. Do you think that I want to leave you? Until I'm better, I'm no good for you. You love me so much that you can't even see that. Look what happened last night. I can't take the chance of ever hurting you. I'm sick. I'm going to lose you. You wait and see. You won't be back, I said. I was being selfish. I knew that. Ma was totally supportive of my return. I told her everything. She seemed to know more about what was going on with him and me than I thought. He resided in a treatment center for several months. I visited him only twice. He refused to let me visit him any more than that. He said it would be too hard to see me. Finally, the treatment was over. He was coming home and was very excited about his future. He told me that he had learned a lot about himself while he was in the treatment center. He decided to stay at his sister's house until he found a place. I was so happy to see him. Now we could be together without the drugs. I had missed him so much. We were in the basement of his sister's home watching TV. He seemed different, distant. I was hoping the change was due to the counseling he had received while he was away. Tina, I am really sorry for all the things that I put you through, he said. That's okay. You are back, you are well, and everything is fine now, I said. His eyes seemed to look straight through me. Why did he look so sad? I learned a lot about myself while I was in the center. They told me that I need to break old ties and start fresh if I'm going to have any chance of staying sober. Don't worry, everything will be fine. That's what I've been telling you all along. You do need to break off old ties. We'll be fine. I will be here for you, I said, placing my head on his chest. Wait a minute, Tina. You're not hearing me. Look, we can't be together. I need to try to take care of myself, and I can't do that with you. Why? I screamed. I love you. What about all the plans we made? Please, don't make this so hard. You won't understand, but I do still love you. I just can't be with you. Don't worry. You'll be fine, and I'll help you if you'll let me. How can you help me if you won't be with me? I love you. I waited for you. Please, just tell me one thing, just one thing. Please tell me that you're not going back to her again, I cried. She's no good for you, and it won't work. Don't you know that? Please don't do this. I am so sorry, Tina. I have a son. I have to try to make things work. Can't you understand that? I have a son. He lowered his head in his hands. He drove me home that night with only the sound of my tears breaking the silence. There was nothing that I could do about it. I understood what he was trying to do, but it hurt so badly. I had given my soul away to protect him, and he had turned to her again. I felt like a fool. This was the night that I had dreaded for years. I knew that eventually this night would come. This was just another confirmation of what I believe to be true. Nothing good lasts forever. My heart felt like it was being ripped out of my body. I was so ashamed. I felt just as stupid as all the girls that I had grown up hearing the neighbors gossip about. There was only one person that I could turn to, Lucille. We had known each other since 4th grade. She had always been there for me and never judged me. She is one of the nicest people that I've ever had the pleasure of calling a friend. In the months that followed, we spent lots of time together. When he and I were together, I'd visit Lucille sometimes, but now she became my confidant. She lived up the street from Ma in a 2-bedroom house where she raised her 2 small children. We'd spend hours playing cards in her kitchen until late into the night, talking about our problems. Never once did she ever judge me, nor I her. So I think we're going to stop right here today. I hope that you have enjoyed this episode of A Life Not My Own. I hope that it took your mind away from maybe some of the immediate challenges that you're having for a moment. I hope that you are encouraged by my story and understand that we all have faced challenges in our lives, and we all have, made mistakes and not used the best of judgment. Love has a way of making that happen. So I hope that you will join me again on the next episode, and have yourself a very good day. Take care.